So I am today announcing that I will resign as leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party on Friday the 7th of June.
Alright everyone, if you're watching this video, you're all aware now that Theresa May has finally stepped down as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. About time as well, because she's not been up to par for the task at hand, as far as I'm concerned. It goes back to her awful manifesto and her awful Chequers deal. That's the two things that really made me believe that she had to step down, essentially. And it's a miracle that she even survived her vote of no confidence. But well, the Parliament saved her. Most of the people in the Conservative Party saved her for some time. But no, she's completely failed to deliver Brexit. Her Chequers deal was more of a vassalisation submission, the sort of thing that you would, as Carl Benjamin put it, if you had lost a war to European Union. This is the sort of thing that you would say to them, okay, we'll be your slaves now. And it was absolutely dreadful, and thank God it never went through. So while I'm pleased that she's stepping down, I don't have any hatred towards her, as some people do have, because at the end of the day, it is the hardest job in the country, being the Prime Minister. But still, we should not have elected the Conservative Party rather should not have selected someone who was a Remainer to lead Brexit. I would have even had more faith in David Cameron, to be honest, because at least he gave us the referendum. But no, he stepped down. He obviously couldn't, see through something that he didn't believe in. So we replaced a Remainer Prime Minister with another Remainer Prime Minister. And she did say the right things for some time, like leading up to the moment she announced her own general election, so she could strengthen her hand, as she put it. But she had done such a terrible job in the run-up to that, so much so that Jeremy Corbyn was able to, gain some momentum, and they sort of claimed a sort of morale victory because Theresa May lost her majority, and it's only because of the DUP and because, yes, Scotland as well, voting for 13 Conservative MPs as well, that actually saved her by the skin of her teeth. So we shouldn't have had a Remainer take over. It should have been Andrea Leadsom back at the time. She was set up to have that opportunity taken from her. She said something along the lines of, I care about the future of my children, and therefore that's why I want to leave the EU. And Theresa May, who's a childless leader, as is several other incompetent ones across Europe, she was upset about that, allegedly. I don't know if it was manufactured from the top down, but hey ho. So finally she's now resigned, and it's good. She's not got the respect of the European Union. She's not got the respect of most of the country. It's very strange to see both sides of this massive schism, the Remain-Leave schism in this country, actually agree on something with such aplomb. And now that she's gone, I'm cautiously optimistic now. People are celebrating and thinking it's great news, and while it's good that she's done it, we're not there yet. There's three things that we need to consider. First of all, the next Prime Minister, absolutely, the next Conservative leader specifically, absolutely has to be someone who campaigned on Brexit. That's the only way we can hope to actually get this pushed through. And secondly, another thing to consider is that there is a possibility that should an election be called later this year, because the Conservatives have screwed up on such a big scale over the last year and a half or so, Jeremy Corbyn could be Prime Minister. Now that will be a disaster, but it could be a blessing in disguise if it, further red pills the country. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, even though their Labour have hemorrhaged a lot of supporters as well. So it would be interesting to see if Brexit Party would be more than just a single issue, and if they would be willing to push for a general election and get MPs there as well. And lastly, and most importantly of all, we're not out of the EU yet. So any reason to celebrate happens after we're past the point of no return. Then we can celebrate and be satisfied. That's us out. We're not going back in. We have to now run ourselves as a country. The politicians have got to take responsibility and start delivering for the country. Then we can start making deals. Not now trying to cause any issues that's only pushing the leave date back further and further. Hell, Theresa May was going to potentially have a vote for a second referendum. Absolutely, we can't be doing like all these multiple referendums till the EU gets what they want. Just like the Irish were made to vote again on the Lisbon Treaty. Yeah, so yeah, overall good news. But remember, there's still some way to go before we can actually get to a point where we can say that's it. We're out of the EU. We're satisfied now. It's going to be a turbulent road. It has been for a while, and it will continue to be so for the foreseeable future. Hopefully, a Brexiteer will take over. Even if it's Boris Johnson, I'm not a fan of him personally, but if he can like get the job done and then he gets voted out after that, I'm more than happy. I'm at the point now where I'd be happy for Jeremy Corbyn to be Prime Minister as a trade-off if it happens after we leave the EU properly, even just for a time. It would be like a sort of like the devil's bargain. Do I, in my heart, want Jeremy Corbyn to be Prime Minister? Of course not. That'd be the last thing. But, as Theresa May said herself, life's full of compromises. It's kind of like, doing a deal with the devil. Yeah, sure, you can finally have Brexit, but here's a few, difficult years to endure in the meantime, which is what I knew we were going to get anyway when I voted to leave back in 2016. So anyway, yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. And it's happened. What are you thinking in the comments? Do you think it's great? Are you celebrating yet, or are you holding out to see what will transpire over the next few weeks? Or maybe you were a supporter of Theresa May and you're upset for her. Who knows? Leave your comments in the comment section, and I'll have a little look, and I'll hopefully make another video real soon. Take it easy.